What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So this is another weekly market analysis, basically trying to identify which opportunities we can look for next week and what a week we are going to have. Yeah, guys, if this is the first time that you are here, don't forget to like, subscribe. Let's keep trying to push the channel grow. What's up, Trading Box? Welcome. What are you looking for this week? It's going to be a massive week. It's going to be one of those weeks that's basically all the big news are going to happen this week. It's going to be one after the other. We have, if we start looking at the calendar, so let's take a look at it. So these are actually just the red news events, but let me pop up even the other ones. It's going to be massive. So Monday is actually a bit quieter. Okay, so basically not really much going on Monday, and then Tuesday starts with the job openings. So because it's going to be also the beginning of the month, right? In August, on Friday is going to be the 1st of August. It's going to be also unemployment or labor market kind of week in the US. So we have job openings. Wednesday is going to be another big one. Wednesday going to have CPI in Australia, interest rate in Canada, interest rate in the US from the Fed, and then it continues on Thursday. We have BOG, also interest rate decision in here. Then we continue with the GDP and core PC, because it's also the end of the month. So core PC in the US, GDP in the US, and then we finally finish on Friday with the non-farm payroll. In addition to all these news that we are already having here on the calendar, we also have earnings. They're going to have, so let me say, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and which one is the other one? Which one is the other one? Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon. So I think Amazon and Apple are on Thursday. The other two are on Wednesday. So even for that one, anyone that trades indices, that's going to be a big one because they are affecting quite a lot the market. And in addition to that, we do have still on the 1st of August, right? It's a deadline that Trump announced for the tariffs potential deals, right, to come up with agreements. Last week we had Japan and the US coming up with an agreement, and I think there's still ongoing negotiations with the Eurozone. So it's going to be all of it in 1 week, and then maybe people can start going on holidays in August. Who knows? But yes, so volatility ahead. That's for sure what you can expect for this week. So yeah, let's try to predict which direction we are expecting the dollar to move towards to. Are we bearish? Are we bullish? What is your opinion as well? Feel free to share. Trading Box, what are you expecting? What do you think? Where do you think that the dollar is going to move towards to? Anyway, just one thing in here. Unemployment. Okay, expecting to increase 4.2. Core PC 0.2. 0.3. Okay, BOG nothing. Yeah, invest GDP as well. Okay, expected to have an improvement in there. Okay, what can you expect? Where were we last week? That's basically the question. Where were we last week? So last week we were Monday 21st of July. Monday, yeah, Friday 25th. Okay, so we basically moved to the upside, right? So that's basically what happened since last week. Yeah, you had a bearish candle. Basically, you corrected all this move. So we opened basically somewhere in here, and then we just moved down, and then we corrected. Okay, so that's what happened on the dollar. Now, what levels I was looking for? I was looking for the dollar to get closer to this one. When we start moving to the downside, I could see this one already as an engulf down, and then we had a confirmation here as well. So I was basically bearish all the way until we finally went below this wall. Okay, so the moment we went below this wall, that was the moment I could start looking for longs on the dollar index. One of the best first areas, of course, it will be here, and then the second one it will be somewhere around this structure, where maybe can still push price a little bit more to the downside. When you are looking at maybe where this low actually reacted from, it may have not still came all the way back a little bit closer to this to the bottom of this move in here. So it may have reacted a little bit in the middle. Maybe if you go into the war time frame, you can see exactly where price reacted from, and maybe actually it's already something related to the break of this. So maybe there's not even more space in there. But on the higher time frame, on this 4-hour time frame, it may look like that there's still a little bit of space for price to potentially move a little bit further down. If you're looking at this move in here that we had since midweek, we may have on the dollar still this level in here that can still hold price up, and maybe even at the extreme in here, if by any chance the dollar still wants to keep holding this level, maybe could even work, right? So for some people, they may start seeing this break of this top in here as a potential move to the upside, which means that maybe price now is ready to go all the way back into there. When you're looking a little bit at the top as well, so price came and react from this base, from the lower base of this level, which means that maybe there's still also a little bit of space in there. So I could see maybe actually both spaces are free potentially. Okay, so maybe price can even eventually go towards this level, the same way that could also go a little bit deeper into below these lows, into something in there, or even further down over there. So that's going to be interesting to see which direction the dollar wants to move towards. So, and this actually starts being in a moment where I don't really like when price now is in here. What I mentioned is we had this top which was clear, then you created this bottom which was clear, then price moved for the first time close to this top, which usually you can expect some reaction, and we did reacted, and now we're getting closer again to these lows in here, and basically already we could have had already some kind of reaction. So we start now to go into this type of a move in there, and I don't really like to trade this type of a move. Yeah, I like to trade this one. I like to trade this one. Potentially, I can even like to trade this one. When price starts now to create maybe double bottoms or close to double tops, I start not really liking this type of move, which means that yeah, I'll be waiting and seeing to see what can happen. If you do want to see price potentially, for example, price could even maybe bounce from here, respect this level, start pushing further down. That could be a possibility. The same way that price could maybe just retest this level and start even pushing higher, take this top, retest, and continue to push a little bit more to the upside, and maybe start aiming to go closer to this level. Yeah, there are a few options in here that the dollar can move towards too. Are we going this week to break any of these structures? This is one of those weeks that could happen. Like, there are many news going on this week that could eventually set the market or the dollar to start moving towards one of those directions. Of course, as the week evolves, more information they're going to have in order to make decisions. So that's going to be, yeah, it's just something to track in here. Hi, KK. Can you please show me an example of how DXY helped to buy or sell euro dollar? Definitely, that's definitely. Yeah, for example, when finally the dollar got to this level, so I had this in mind. Okay, I wanted to see dollar index going below this level before attempting to go long. We could already see price slowing down at this level. Could even see price starting to move to the upside when it made that move, and eventually, like, you can see a little bit of this, of price breaking a little bit of the structure, trying to go to the upside, and then eventually made this move until it turned. Right? Unfortunately, this move was happened overnight, but we did manage to have this retracement. Now, actually, I would have liked to see this top even managing to break that one before coming back in here. This could have be a little bit tricky in terms of not breaking structure to the upside to open the door, but maybe it did. Maybe broke something important here that actually triggering the move to the upside. But the most important part for me, it was the break of that. It was for price to go below this low, and it reacted from something somewhere around this level. So basically, if you go into the lower time frame, as I mentioned, maybe you can see exactly the demand zone or a good level that price actually end up reacting from, and you even have this stop in here as well, maybe of this structure. So this potentially was something important. But as I mentioned, eventually price could even go a little bit lower. But if I had this information, or that this was something that I was looking for on the dollar index, basically out this move, then we can jump into the euro dollar or the pound dollar or any basically dollar related pair to try to find an opportunity, which is basically what we had. To be honest with you, I was not really the biggest fan of selling euro dollar where euro dollar was. I kind of was more biased towards selling selling the pound than the euro. So when price starts to move to the upside in here, eventually I'm looking for shorts on the euro dollar or pound dollar, for example. And yeah, on the euro, this was the situation. Okay, so price actually, for example, in this case, price even fake out a little bit this top with this move. This was during the ECB press conference, so there was a little bit more volatility on the euro at this point on last Thursday, and we did manage to fake out still this level before price starting to move to the downside. But this kind of aligns. So this top in here that is created was exactly the same time that this retest happened as well. So that was something that we could have paid attention to. Okay, this low in here, it basically is the same as this top. Yes, you can see a little bit of a difference where this one actually fake out these tops in here, and the lows on the dollar index never really fake out the lows. But maybe that's because of where maybe price was already reacting to on the left side. Okay, so price was still within this level. I was not the biggest fan of anything in here on the euro. Maybe on the daily or weekly, maybe you could see something. But yes, this is maybe a quasi-modo level. You can even have that left shoulder in there. We have the fake out and now the quasi-modo. So potentially this was actually a great level, and both of them were aligned in there. So sometimes one of those two may make more sense than the other when you're looking at dollar index or the euro dollar, but that was something to pay attention. In addition to that, you can actually even use euro index. Okay, that's even an extra tip, an extra confirmation that you can look for. Of course, euro index has been moving quite nicely to the upside, and this was the move to downside. Okay, so when price actually reacted from there, and that's basically the same move that we had on the euro dollar around 9. Yeah, this was basically this last push down. But as you can see, euro index at this point is still quite bullish. Okay, so basically what you can conclude from here is that euro pairs are still quite strong. So even though and that's why if you do have this information, that's why maybe looking for a sale on the pound dollar was actually more beneficial than looking for a sale on the euro dollar, because the euro, and you can see in here, is still quite strong, still continues to push higher, and that's why maybe the euro dollar didn't really moved as much, kind of a little bit in compression here until finally it moved a little bit. But if you compare with the pound dollar, look at this move, right? I think there's no difference from this move and this one. Right, there's literally no difference. No difference. There is no comparison. That's what I'm to say. Right, the euro dollar moved much less and is struggling to actually move to downside. And on the other side, you have pound dollar that made a massive move down. So if you do want to use that information from potentially a long opportunity on the pound in here, on the dollar, maybe pound dollar was a much better pair to actually look for that setup. And maybe we could have got that information based on the way price was moving and so on. Again, unfortunately, this one was overnight as well. I actually was interested in looking for a short in there. It was overnight. I was just trying to see how price would react around this level. I could see the weakness that was going on the pound, and then we had the turn. And price never really come back into the zone in here to correct, basically to correct some orders. Yep, so just creating this pattern here in the middle, and then it just dropped. What's up? Welcome. Tell me, what pairs are you looking at? Okay, and what are you looking for this this week? That's going to be a super volatile week. Did it help in the inbox? The explanation? No. But you can definitely increase your certainty of the levels or trades if you even just combine these three. We are talking about dollar index, we are talking about yen index, and you're talking about euro index. Okay, if you combine those, that's super powerful. Yeah, if you combine those, that's super powerful. For example, for the dollar yen, that's a great example in here. Okay, so if you use dollar yen as this example, so we have dollar index, okay, that is moving to the upside, which means that's a little bit of strength on the dollar as well, on the dollar yen. And then on the other side, we have actually the yen index using or keep respecting this supply level in there, which then starts making this move to downside. So what you can expect is literally a massive move to the upside on the dollar yen. Okay, and there you go. This was actually another great level. Look at the level that price ended up reacting from. Okay, which with the extreme of this basically PA zone. Okay. Really good demand zone in there. Price starts to slow down, price starts to show some bullishness, and then all of a sudden it creates this move to turn. Again, this was overnight once again, okay, like 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it may be, but eventually end up turning. But it's a great example as well. So we can combine yen index with dollar index, and then just try to, and even euro index as well, and try to see which of the individual then pairs you can try to capitalize on it. Yeah, and then you can expect the indices to respect quite nicely some of the levels. They tend to respect it. Like if you have a fresh supply level, eventually you do see the levels being respected almost no matter what. And then you can just try to find those opportunities on the individual currency pairs. Yeah, so again, dollar index, that's a little bit of what we have. It's a bit indecision. We'll see what's going to happen. As I just described in here, euro index just continues to move higher. Though this is a little bit of what I would have liked to see eventually before a bigger sell-off on the euro index. Maybe create a little bit of momentum, a strong momentum to the upside, and then a complete rejection. And who knows, at this point price already is creating some structure here, so that will be eventually always one of the targets to look for, or if price by any chance will come back into this level as well. So who knows, but for now, euro index continues to go. We may actually end up taking the new top in there. Yes, we did manage to fake out slightly these lows, so that's nice. And yeah, I'll keep tracking it. I'll keep tracking euro index to see eventually if you do have a bigger turn. And when that happens, then that could be a strong selling opportunity on the euro. So when you are looking at the euro in here, what do we have? Okay, so we have that euro end up reacting from something in here. Okay, now it took this level and may have not reacted from this. Okay, even though on the lower time frame, if you pay attention to the basically the level that is created after the break of this level, this is the zone, and they actually end up reacting in there. So this actually end up reacting exactly from where it should have. So that's one thing. Now, when I'm looking at euro dollar in here, I'm not the biggest fan, as I mentioned, of these tops. It looks like they have been already touched as price was moving to the downside. Price was already kind of compressing on the way down. This is maybe one of the last levels that was still fresh. It's actually quite a good one. But if price actually does want to go a little bit higher again, we may. At least I wouldn't be surprised if the euro dollar actually ends up taking new highs and getting a little bit closer more to the left side. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do that. if price actually gets a little bit closer into those stops at this point. Yep, I'll definitely not be surprised if you do that. Euro dollar sell on 17. Are still looking inside this level. On 17, 727, on 17. Yeah, we're looking exactly at the extreme, right? So we're looking somewhere around here. And then on 17, 817. Yeah, somewhere around here. Yeah, it will be somewhere. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that still working. We did manage to break some structure in here. Price just actually came back to test this level. So if by any chance price does want to go down, that could still be a level for price to react from. I'm just not sure if I like this level in here on the left. If you're looking at the daily time frame, maybe this is actually a valid level. Maybe on the weekly. Yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan, to be honest, of these stops. So I'll need to. Yeah, I'll need to see. It could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if by any chance price does something like that. I wouldn't even be surprised. You can even go further down, to be honest. And all of a sudden, as long as starts taking these levels, I think then you can even aim to go further down. Yeah, maybe price does go there into the higher time frame on Monday. If it starts going even higher from here, potentially can decide what to do there. If we do go above this level, I think we may go. I don't think. Yeah, maybe there, but I'm not the biggest fan of anything in here. For that to happen, basically, our index will need to do this and to go higher, which could happen. Could definitely happen as well. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, honestly, I need to see what price will do. I can see price going both directions at this point. The pound is an interesting one as well, right? So basically, what have we done? Once again, we basically took two levels. We basically took this one, which can open the door for price to go further down, but we now also took slightly this one in here, which also opens the door for price to go further up. Now, personally, I was trying to see if price would go even higher before actually making that bigger move, basically wishing that something like this that I draw in here would happen, but price apparently didn't really have that intention at this point of retracing all the way back into this level at the moment. There's definitely some structures in there that maybe that's where price reacted, and we'll see what will happen now, because as I described, we did manage to break also this low, which potentially can push price a little bit further down, and you can even try to find in here at this bottom if there's anything or not that price could react from. So we have this potential demand zone still. Yeah, we'll see. we'll see. It was quite of an aggressive move down that we had Friday, even Thursday the way price moved as well, which means that the same way that price just moved to downside like this, it could also almost trace completely and just have a move to the upside like this as well. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the pound dollar. Yeah. Pound dollar buy 134.107. 134.107. You're talking about this one. Yes, it's possible. Price already got really close to it. Yeah, I can see that potential left shoulder that was created in there. Yeah, even on the daily time frame, it looks nice. Yeah, it could have a reaction. We'll see on the opening. We will see on the opening. If not there, then maybe a little bit further down. I'm not sure if price was already spiked in there before moving to the upside. That's kind of a tricky one to look for. Yeah, but I would like also to see potentially some of this buying pressure to be created before making that move. It's interesting the way price is creating this or are creating this level of support in there, so that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I need to wait and see. Overall, again, bigger picture, I'm still bearish. But I mean, bigger picture. I mean, from this scale, I'm still bearish. I've been bearish for a while. I think price eventually wants to go at least closer to this zone. So maybe that can actually happen. We'll see. When you're looking at euro pound, massive move, right? So again, this is just to reinforce how the euro has been moving quite aggressively to the upside. And on the other side, we have pound also moving, and all of a sudden we have euro pound moving massively upwards. What we have in here, we have price finally breaking that top, and it's getting closer a little bit towards this structure in there, which is going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. And then, yeah, and then price can even go higher, to be honest. But it's not that often that price goes above this level. So we can see even how price was rejected in there a few times as well. So even these stops in here of the structure never really managed to go up in here neither. And how many times price actually ended up respecting this level in here as a support zone. So we are definitely approaching an interesting level, an interesting price on the euro pound. Yeah. Maybe it's worthwhile to place an alert. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And maybe in alignment with Euro Index, when Euro Index eventually turns, maybe you can have Euro Dollar, Euro Pound as well, turning a little bit. Targets for this, maybe coming back a little bit towards this structure. That's something to pay attention to, or eventually even using this stop as well as a reference for a potential target. Okay, next, the yen pairs, the Aussie pairs. Aussie pairs, again, they continue to move higher. This move on the Aussie is just the various, right? So even on this time frame on the day, this is just the various. This was a great level, to be honest. And then price just retest again in here, and it moved to the upside. And we are reacting. We are reacting from an interesting zone. We also have this previous level support resistance in there, and we are reacting from here. So this can be, again, this can be potentially a zone to price already reacting from it. Okay, but it may find some level of support now that is approaching this level, so that could probably be growing there. In addition to that, yeah, that's a nice fake out that you're having here. Potentially can even be the target for this move to the upside. These are into here as well. Yeah, it's not about zone where it's reacting. It can definitely still go a little bit higher if it wants to. If it starts breaking above this level, aiming already to go towards that direction, even though in here it also can be an interesting zone. If you want to sell at the top, wait for more PA. New Zealand, more or less the same. Doesn't really been a pair that have been focused too much, to be honest. If price goes a little bit higher, yeah, we can maybe look for sales. Same way that price goes a little bit lower, maybe we can even look for another bounce to the upside. Yeah, basically that's what we have. Let's look at the end pairs, which is something more interesting. So again, yen index is reacting definitely from these lows. So that was a good reaction, and price basically already reached one of the targets, which was now this supply level. Basically, price moved down from here, retested, and now is finding some support in there. At the same way that we are looking at this level, and price just respected it as well. Maybe there's a little bit of a move to the downside that potentially price could go towards too. This was a nice engulf, then price reacted and it moved higher. And yes, I'm going to be looking to see what you might have. Are you going to hold these levels on the yen index, and price will just move to the upside from here, or is the yen index ready to maybe make another move down before moving to the upside? So yes, going to be paying attention to this one and trying to see then in the individual yen pairs, where are those opportunities? If it's going to be with the euro yen, which could happen whenever the euro index starts moving down, maybe we can have euro yen also making that move, and potentially if this yen index starts moving even higher, then that could help even more for the euro yen to move down. Yeah, euro pound, 1 second. Euro pound. Where is euro pound again? Thanks for sharing, trading box. Euro pound, sell 87536 36. Okay, you're looking. I have the twine as well. I don't even know why, but I have the twine. Okay, you're looking actually for this quasi model. I think it's quite obvious, right? So we don't have this double top in here. We have the clear fake out, and you're looking for the level 0.87536. Okay, so yep, I think it's quite clean. I would potentially wait for all these four tops to be taken. Maybe inside here actually could have an initial reaction, 0.875, and then yeah, and then that's it. We're getting closer and closer to that zone, so I'm going to be paying attention to that. And then we also mentioned Aussie dollar, or like euro, no, not euro, Aussie. Aussie buy if break into compression. 0664 0655. 065548 higher. Yeah, if it breaks into compression, right? If it goes higher, yeah, potentially, I could even see price maybe going below this level, maybe even taking this low before moving to the upside. I think that could be a good level. Start looking for longs as price gets closer to this zone. But as we were talking, we're looking at the yen pairs. Okay, so again, just to refresh in here. Yes, if price does continue to respect this, we have a good move a little bit lower. Then you have euro yen just continue to move higher, right? There is no break of structure at this point. Price just reacted virtually from this extreme, and we do have potentially a break of structure to the upside after this top. So yes, we may have a continuation on the euro yen that moved quite nicely to the upside from all these lows, and I'm curious to see what will happen. We do have this lower edge in there, but price can still definitely go closer to this. So price can definitely still go closer to that. It'd be interesting. Brijam one, what's up? Welcome. What are you looking at? Tell me, what pairs are you looking at? Euro yen sell. Euro yen is getting closer, right? I think it was getting closer to that level that you mentioned last week as well. Where from? Where are you looking for? Where is euro yen again? Yeah, euro yen I think is getting closer. Yes, after all this range that we had in here, price kept respecting this lower structure, so there was not exactly an engulf to downside below this level, and we are getting closer and closer to this zone. So now you are talking about 173,693. Is that still above this level? 173,693. I do have this marking here, so it must be a level that is close to that. Is that this IKM basically that you are looking for? Are you looking for this? Basically in alignment with this zone in here. Is that the reason? I don't think I can go much lower time frame on this trading view. But I think I can go on the other one. $173,693. Yeah, an MU is okay. An MU is KM aligned with AKM. Okay, 1 second. Are you from India? Welcome, my friend. Tell me from where? Where are you looking for shorts? Where are you looking for shorts on the euro dollar? Tell me the levels to see if we agree. Let me just bring this one. Let me just bring this one in here. Actually, let's continue to do the analysis in this one. MU. 173 693. Yeah, so we are looking at this structure basically, and you are looking. It looks like there's maybe a gap of info in here. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. Yeah, I'm curious to see just how price may react. Okay, within this level, I'm curious to see it. It's always a little bit. Well, it's not the best one when you just have a little bit of a zone. It was quite quick. I prefer a little bit more of a more elaborated level than just that. But I'm going to be tracking the way price may move. What I like is, yes, price is compressing. Basically, even if you put a trend line in here, you can see how price is moving to the upside, but retracing, continue to move to the upside, retracing, and so on. And it's going to be interesting to see what will happen. If the euro dollar, of course, euro yen, can still go there. So one of those that we can pay attention to is also to the euro index. So depending on what the euro index and the yen index are going to do, okay, if the yen index actually eventually is going to find new buying pressure, and the euro index finally is going to find some selling pressure, we may have this one potentially making this move. And the target, of course, we need to pay attention to maybe destruction here as a target. But then if you do actually break, it can actually extend quite nicely closer to this level in there, or who knows, even taking this double bottom and getting closer to this zone in there. So something like that could potentially happen on the euro yen. It's a potential move that we can definitely look for, and I'll be tracking exactly that scenario. Yeah, even if you look into the lower time frame, yeah, then there's a big candle in here, which maybe price does want to go there. Who knows? And where is the next level? Yeah, definitely something to pay attention. Okay, euro dollar targeting 131. Targeting 131. You said what you want? You want short. 1314. Are you looking all the way down? No, 13. Sorry, 13. No, 14. Okay, 114.50. Oh, you are ambitious. Okay, so you're looking for euro dollar to come back closer to this level. Where are you looking for a short? Are you looking for a short somewhere in here? Where do you want to short it from? This is a potential good target. I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I think eventually price, if this actually goes down, then I think there's that space for price eventually to go closer to this next level. So I wouldn't entirely be surprised if you do that. I'm just not sure if you are in the right boys are ready to look for that bigger short, or if price wants to continue just to create more momentum to the upside. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. We already talked a little bit about with euro. Your target is not bad in the bigger picture. That would mean that dollar index would also go up, but it needs to be a big shift on the euro for that to play. Yeah. Other yen pairs. Yeah, let's take a look at the other yen pairs. Aussie yen can be an interesting one. What we may have still this level, even though price just reached its target, basically. Okay, so we have, I think we can all agree, we are having this massive move up. Price took slightly the top, never even went above that level, so we can even still go closer to this zone. But after that, okay, so basically price reacted and came back into this previous level of support resistance, plus this demand zone, and it moved to the upside. So this looks like to me the normal target, normal destination in here for price to potentially continue to move to the upside, and maybe getting a little bit closer to that zone. Now that doesn't mean that we may not have some reaction from here. We're actually starting to break some structure. We could have some reaction maybe from this supply level and try to challenge a little bit lower in there, but even though price just continue to respect this structure. Looking at the pound yen. Pound yen, we took this massive top. I think price still wants to go, potentially still wants to go higher. Good reaction from this level as well. So yeah, if the euro yen just want to go higher a little bit, maybe pound yen could also move a little bit more to the upside before we then make a bigger move. Yeah, that would be interesting. Dollar CAD, it was a massive one. It was so good. Dollar CAD was really good in here. So it came all the way back, retested perfectly from this demand zone below that low, and it's moving higher. Now, yes, it's finding some level of support in here. I think dollar CAD, could potentially continue to go higher. Maybe can even retrace now before making another leg up, and eventually I would like it to even go and break this top, maybe even that one, and getting a little bit closer towards this level. So definitely it's an important zone. Price spent way too much time before at around those levels. So it's going to be interesting. Nice level of supply. Here. Yeah. Any opportunities on the dollar CAD that you're looking for? I could see. It's not a bad level. Maybe there is even more selling pressure within this zone. If price starts breaking below, we have already this liquidity being created. Okay, so we have already all this being created at around this level. So that's something to pay attention to, because we may have something like that happening, and price could just move to a little bit lower, since price actually is reacting from a good level in there, maybe even daily. Yeah, it's kind of a daily zone as well, and yeah, maybe even a weekly. So yeah, let's see how deep this retracement is going to be, or price just bounces straight away and moves on. Yes. EURUSD. Okay. Further move up. It similar to the dollar yen. It respected perfectly this extreme and it moved to the upside. So I could eventually see it going even higher. Price is definitely in a bullish trend. We have been reacting from this level and we could even go higher than that. Okay, you can even eventually take this. You can take that top. Now price has been reacting quite nicely from that zone. It's there now again. So yes. Do I look at it? I don't really see a break of structure. We may have broken these lows. Maybe some people may consider this one as a break of structure, but the reality is that price just came all the way back to the extreme and was respected, and it's just moving higher. When looking at pound CAD, let me do it pound CAD. Pound CAD is slightly different. Yeah, it could even go higher. But yeah, if it goes close to that level, potentially from here as a long, yes, this could, if this continue to hold, maybe not the biggest fund below that level. Yeah, curious to see what will happen here. One that I was looking for, dollar franc Swiss. Dollar franc Swiss can also continue. So it reacted really nicely from that level. Now it's reacting from this supply level in there. The price already took a little bit of this structure underneath, reacting from this demand zone. And I'm curious to see how price may still react from around this level to see if there's actually a potential move to the upside. Yes, I would like to see price still retracing back to these lows, then making a decision. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Where's this CGF? Gold is a beautiful one. I didn't. It was way too quick. Okay, to be honest, I don't think I was at my PC in that moment. I may have not placed my alert, and then it was way too quick for me in terms of confirmation. I had to catch this move. I needed to be much more aggressive. Okay, so I like the price action. If you look at dollar CAD, okay, so price is reacting from that zone on the left that we talked about. And I really like the price action on the approach. Okay, so this is exactly what I like to look at, which is to start seeing price breaking some structures on the way. As price is moving down, it starts to break some structure, and then it did exactly the same just before, as price is getting closer and closer, and this starts determining the targets that we can eventually aim for. Okay, so basically above this level, something closer above that zone could have been one of the targets, but as I mentioned, price kind of moved way too quick for me. So yes, we do have this one again. When you saw this break, maybe many people were trying to go long in here or even in this demand zone instead, and then eventually got stopped out with the tight stops, and this was actually the moment. Okay, as soon as price basically breaks this structure there, that's one of the triggers to start moving to the upside. But I needed to see a little bit more structure of price action around here. Even after the break, this level, it used to test this level here and go higher or something like that. That never happened. Price was way too quick, moving to the upside. Didn't really gave me an opportunity. And yes, at this time, I don't think I was actually even on my PC when it happened. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful level. It was really beautiful. I don't know if you catch it. Did you catch it, Trading Box? Overall, this was a great level, a great move. This was a great move. It was really a great move. Moving along, we're going into, well, let's just analyze quickly the indices. What do we have? We have a continuation to the upside on the US indices. It's going to be another really interesting week with the announcement of those earnings. Okay, so 4 of the big 7 are going to announce this week. We already had Alphabet and which one was the other one? Tesla, I think, last week. So Alphabet, which is Google, really strong earnings again, and kind of they are looking to see if that's going to be something similar, especially on Meta. Apple, a little bit tricky also because of the situation with China and everything. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern, especially because also Apple hasn't really made anything extraordinary in terms of the AI. Okay, I think it's lagging. It's lagging in comparison with the competition. Apple needs to kind of step up their game to become more valuable and to actually make this AI era play in their favor. I think they are lacking comparing with Meta, comparing with Alphabet, even Amazon, and so on. Yeah, so those earnings are going to be quite important. But of course, in addition to that, we have FOMC, and then we have NFP, and we even have core PCE, and of course the tariffs. So yeah, I'll just keep tracking. I'll just keep tracking until I actually see proper weakness on the S&P that eventually can lead into some kind of short. So far, I don't think that's still in there. We can continue to track price around these levels. NASDAQ also quite similar, so we did manage to break new all-time highs once again. Price bouncing between these levels, so that was nice as well. So that was kind of what we looked for as a reaction, and it continues to move higher. So it continues to move to the upside quite aggressively again, and yeah, I'll be tracking to see eventually when can we have a really strong break of structure that can actually be the trigger to start looking for shorts. At this point, the continuation maybe is still expected. Yeah, that's nice. What else? Dow approaching really quickly to the all-time highs. Okay, we are really close. I think we are going to have that maybe this week. We might have that move happening. This is an interesting move that we have. So maybe let it go, take the all-time highs, and then you may have a move to the downside. Just correct a little bit of this moving here. Yeah, let it break all-time highs. DAX, yeah, DAX was really good as well, again overnight. Great reaction from that level, and we'll see if DAX by any chance wants to come back into this level. Maybe there's some potential for shorts, so keeping an eye on that one. Can happen. We'll see. Our price may actually even end up taking all-time highs, and then you have also FTSE 100 just continues to create new all-time highs, and there's still nothing exactly attempts to go lower. Okay, that's the indices. Oil, I'm looking for oil eventually to move further down. There's been a lot of news in here. I would like it to go a little bit further down before looking for long. So yes, I want price to go lower. This maybe was a potential interesting level to look for another short. That's never really got there. maybe that one as well could play. No, I did a read word, didn't catch it. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Yeah, I think I can see why you're waiting a bit more. Maybe price could definitely go a little bit more into here, right? Maybe this quasi model that you're looking for. But the level itself, where end up reacting, it was already good. Yeah, it was already good. Yeah. And then gold, okay, gold. Okay, let's look at oh, damn it. Silver. Yeah, silver was one that we've been talking about for a while, right? So we talked about silver that potentially could look for shorts. There's kind of a quasi model in there as well. If you're looking, considering this left shoulder, okay, the head and maybe where price is reacting. So we even have that type of opportunity. Yeah, that's a massive move. Yeah, this was something that I was looking for. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it. This one that I journaled, this was an opportunity that I ignored completely. It's something that I need to pay more attention to. This is more of a mid-range, a zone 2 type of a move that I'll call it. So zone 1 is where the top is created. Zone 2 is kind of the price action that is created after the top is created to continue into that direction, and hopefully that is triggered already the break of structure to the downside. So yes, this was a great move. Straight at the opening, I ignored it. I didn't really look at it because I usually try to trade more close to the extremes. But this was perfect. This was actually really good. We have that manipulation during the Asian session. Then around the opening, the London Open, we have that sell. Now, unfortunately, I didn't really catch this move. I didn't really like the way price was compressing like this. Usually when I see price compressing like this, at least I want to see a little bit of a pause and then maybe a little bit of a spike and then the turn. That was not exactly like that. This is too small, and the way price was being so choppy, it's not exactly. I wanted a little bit more of a separation before moving down. Never happened, but the rest is history. Really good move on silver. This is also something that happens many times. You may have a massive move up, you create actually a clear top, and that top is going to be used eventually as liquidity. We even have this range in here, so beautiful from this candle. Yeah, there you go. So next, somewhere around this level. Yeah, but this move is something that I really want to add into my playbook. Okay, to finalize, looking at gold. So this was the trade I actually caught. So this was the trade I caught on gold. I've been waiting for it for a long time. Okay, since basically the top was created, I've been waiting to short somewhere around this level since then. Price meanwhile created this structure. It never really retraced back into that zone. Like this never happened. In here as well, price never really went there. So it was a clean level of supply that was still fresh around there. In alignment, we had this beautiful left shoulder as well that could work quite nicely for price to come back into it. So yes, we had this approach. It was terrible. I count these moves in here. It doesn't really matter. And many people are asking what do I think on gold, and price was in here. Yeah, no idea. Price finally broke above this level. So this was one of the trades that people could have tried to catch, okay, which is kind of break it, retrace a bit, and then kind of at least go back into this level, the top in here after this compression. So at least that was one of the opportunities. But then price even went a little bit higher into this top. And this is exactly what happened. So it's a great price action afterwards. Yeah, we have actually a quasi-modo around this level. We have this back out, come back, and this is actually where I eventually shorted it. The price was ranging in here, place a sell stop, got tricked, and end up looking for the move. And target was this one. Okay, so I was looking for price to come back into this structure, and price can even go a little bit lower or can even go even lower than that. So that could be eventually a future target. But for now, price didn't even spend much time in here. I was trying to see if there was an opportunity eventually to look for a continuation to the downside, but no, price future just went straight downside. Price now is reacting nicely from this previous wave of demand that's turning into supply. Yeah, what's next for gold? Potentially can even go close to this level. We'll see how price may eventually react from there. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. So we have what's going on with Bitcoin, by the way. Yep. Yeah, just literally came back down to take this liquidity. What we have? Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum also coming down the back in here. Ready to go. So hold this level quite nicely. Yes, on the time to go up. Bitcoin dominance. Okay. Okay, so yes, gold can go a little bit lower towards this direction, or eventually can also range a little bit, the same way that it range in between these levels. Who knows if it's going to range somewhere in here again before potentially moving. I'm a bit more bearish than bullish, but of course I'm going to pay attention to how price may react from some of these levels. Who knows, maybe even go long from there. US indices, as I mentioned, wait and see. Literally waiting for proper confirmation for people to be trapped into the wrong direction. And then the dollar is the interesting one. Like, there are a few options in here on the dollar. Price can even go higher or go lower. This one could push price up. This one eventually could also push price up, or the same way that price is ready to go even further down, and price may just respect this level and try to push a bit more further down, which takes the dollar a little bit up. Yeah. So now Ethereum, not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. I don't see. Maybe wait for a breakoff structure, because price is respecting. Like, so price, as you can see, since price starting to move to the upside, it respected every single demand zone. So I'm not entirely sure if this is the right moment. I don't like the fact that price. So basically, when it created this move in here, maybe this one, whatever. So when it created this low, price left the demand zone, and price already reacted from it quite a few times, and even then it reacted again. Okay, so initially this may look like an engulf to the downside, but if then price starts to respect these levels upwards, that makes it a little bit more bullish than bearish. And in here, for example, this would have been nice to see. Okay, when you do have this level, this one would have been nice to maybe be broken a little bit and then push higher. So if this one is maybe broken and push higher, it starts at least to break some structure. At this point, it's quite strong. It's quite bullish. So I'm not really sure if this is the right approach now to just jump into a sell on Ethereum. Then of course you can look left a little bit, try to see if there's anything more interesting to look for. Yeah. Yeah, the momentum still looks strong. Yeah, the momentum still looks strong, so I would wait for twisty stop to be taken. I would wait to see if there's anything slightly higher than price can still bounce from, and maybe there is. This price maybe is getting a little bit closer to here. Maybe there are some bounces in there, and then I'll be trading that. But I wouldn't even be looking for a big target at this point. I think something more conservative would make sense. Yeah, it's hard to be totally bearish right now on crypto, and price just keeps on going, keeps on moving. Of course, for this week, it's really important to keep an eye on the as price evolves. I keep an eye on break-off structure and a higher time frame that can lead into direction before the news. Also, pay attention to the type of approach. You may have a trending market until Wednesday. Then after Wednesday, you may have a complete shift, or maybe the shift is going to happen only on Thursday. Okay, maybe even during the FOMC, maybe price is still going to move in one direction, and then maybe price starts to shift a little bit on Thursday, and then you have NFP on Friday, right? So again, there's going to be plenty of news to deal with, potentially some tweets from Trump as well, now that we are getting really close to the deadline of the tariffs, especially also with the Eurozone. So I expect volatility above all. So I think planning, being fresh to perform, I think that's going to be essential for this week, and try to ignore or reset on a daily basis. Whatever happened on the day before, try to come with a clean state. Yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking for. Thank you guys. Thank you. Bridge-M1, Trending Box, everyone else. Yeah, like, subscribe, do all that, and yeah, I'll be more active, especially in September. Thank you. Bye bye.